Folks, good evening and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. Here we are on this beautiful, beautiful summer evening in end of June 30th, folks. If you're watching this show, it's probably the 2nd of July. That's the first time the show will air, and it will air for a couple of weeks. And if you want to know, An Hour with Bob is on every Thursday night at 11 p.m., Friday night at 10 p.m., Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. on Cox 13, Verizon 32, Full Channel 49. It's also in Fall River on Channel 95 on Wednesday at 6 p.m. and several other times during the week. It's also on Cox 18 and Verizon 24, 25, and 31 on Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Monday night at 10:30 p.m. So that's enough of An Hour with Bob. Bob's Big Adventure, by the way, you're going to see a clip from Bob's Big Adventure. That is Saturday at 10 a.m., Sunday at 10 p.m., and Monday at 3:30 p.m. So you're going to see clips from that tonight. We're going to show them. I haven't done that in years, but we're going to do it tonight. But I got to show you, we got two really, really attractive women as guests tonight. In fact, we're going to start off right away. I don't know if we should talk about tails wagging right now, heads and tails. I'm looking at stupid. People tell me all the time that I'm full of useless statistics, and this is one of them. Do you know that depending on which way your dog's tail wags, it determines what kind of a mood that dog is in, or dog that you approach? You know, they say if a dog's wagging his tail, he's not a danger to you. Well, that's not true. If he wags to the left, he is a danger to you. If he wags to the right, he's a friendly dog. He's a happy dog. So you got to know the difference. Anyway, I'm going to dispense with the stupidity, and I'm going to get right back with the show. And we're going to say hello to a girl from Connecticut. She came all the way from Wethersfield? Wethersfield, Connecticut? Is that 2 hours away or 1 hour and 45 minutes?
An hour and 50 minutes, yes.
Shelley Carbone, the former Mrs. America 2011. Is that? Oh, that's how you do it.
Yes, it's
huh?
elbow, wrist, of course. Yeah.
How do you like that? 2011 Mrs.
Mrs. Feels like a lifetime ago.
It
though,
does,
2011.
huh? Mrs. America 2011.
Yes.
You were Mrs. what, Connecticut
I was
before
Mrs.
that?
Connecticut 2010.
Right.
Yeah, and then went on to, had no idea what was going to happen next, but went on to win Mrs. America 2011.
Now, who came in second?
Raquel, Mrs. America or
Yeah.
Mrs. Connecticut? Raquel. What was Raquel's last name? Oh, that makes me sound really bad. Yeah.
Where was she from?
She's from Washington, D.C.? No, Maryland. Maryland, yes.
From Maryland.
Yeah, oh, Lord.
Yeah. So,
no, she was gracious.
No, the reason I asked you that is because everybody always says that, you're looking when you're looking face to face with you. I always ask
There's
the
a
question.
wives' tale about that. You know, when you have the two women at the end of the competition,
Right.
they're going to ready to crown the Mrs. The winner and the first runner-up.
Right.
There's a thing how you hold hands.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yep.
so you're not supposed to hold. The person who's holding on top is supposed to be the winner. So
Cut it out.
No, it's a
Well, wait a
wives'
minute.
tale.
Don't you fight for that? Who's on top?
We
then?
do. You see him kind of going like this. No, I don't want to do that. And then you end up like this because
Oh, you end up like this,
yes,
so nobody's
because
on top.
nobody's on the top, on the bottom.
What?
It's weird. I know pageant girls get a little weird sometimes. It's kind of like, you know, the football players who don't wash their socks or their jocks for a really long time.
Really?
Yeah, or the baseball
You don't have
players.
that problem, right?
No, I
your
leave my
pageant
jock
girls
at
don't
home
do
when
that?
I go to pageants.
No?
It's all good. Yeah.
No, but none of the pageant girls do that? You never heard any stories like that?
No, you know, I've heard terrible stories about women being a little catty towards each other, but I personally had not experienced that. They're wonderful, beautiful
Really?
people. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, based on, and I don't know you, we've only just met.
It's only just begun.
Oh, but based on that, and the reason why I asked you on this show, because I was extremely impressed by your appearance on the TV series Bravo.
Thank you.
I thought you were the most level-headed of everybody on that show.
I tried.
You were,
It
you
was so
were.
hard. Oh my gosh. It was difficult. But it was
I'm
Game
sure
of-
it was difficult.
Yeah, Bravo TV, Game of Crowns. That was the show. And if
Well,
you
that
haven't
show
seen it,
was
you need to Google it.
the first episode. Part of that was aired here, or shot here. I
Oh,
should
that's
say.
right. Oh,
It
yes,
was
you
taped here.
interviewed Susanna.
Yes.
Yes, and yes.
That was.
Do you want to talk about that? Or no?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever you want. You can talk about it, whatever you want to talk about.
Well, you saw the episode that you were in, and
Yes.
how it kind of made you look very disinterested, and it was just.
Oh! I didn't like that at all.
Yeah,
I didn't like
I-
that. Why did they even show me when I do
the
this
drink.
when the camera's not on me? Put the camera on me, John. When the camera's not on me, I might reach over and grab a drink. And I'll look at the monitor to see that I'm not on, and that's the time I'll reach over for a drink, right? A drink of iced coffee, folks, or water. Well, on that show, on the Bravo, they come in with their cameras, of course, and they actually showed me reaching over and sipping a, like I wasn't interested.
That's the beauty of reality
but it wasn't,
TV.
exactly. No, that's on purpose. They do that on purpose.
Of course.
When they do stuff like that,
they have a tendency, it's not scripted. A lot of people think it's scripted, it's not. But they can also manipulate the footage to create a story.
Well,
so that's what happens.
Being in this business, so to speak, and editing and stuff like that, you know what you don't want to show, and you know what you do show, and what you do show is for a reason.
So what happens is you're on your game 95% of the time, but that 5% that you maybe drop an F-bomb or you don't look so great and you're not feeling so hot, that's the 5% they show.
Exactly, and that's what makes it wrong. That's what it's a turn-off to me.
You know what, you sign up for that though. When you go into it, you go in with eyes wide open, you sign a contract, they immediately tell you they can do whatever they want with the footage, and you either sign it or you don't. So I signed it, I did it.
You signed it?
It was great.
You signed a lot of papers, I know that, we did.
Yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely. It's all about liability. They don't want you to sue them for that, making you look like you're not interested in your guests.
Yeah, and that's what they did. That's what they did, and it wasn't the case. I mean, that's the only time I have an opportunity you get dry mouth after talking.
Absolutely.
So you gotta take a sip of something.
Try standing on stage for 2 hours with a smile on your face.
Oh yeah. Huh?
It starts trembling back here, and next thing you know, your lips want to shut. You get a little locked jaw. It's not a lot of fun. It's hard to smile all the time.
Now, how many episodes did you have?
We did
9?
10. We did 10. There's a lost footages or secrets or something like that.
There's another one?
No, they showed it. It was.
Oh, they did?
I didn't learn very much from it, but it's all
good.
good. Yeah, it was good. So, Game of Crowns, it was an interesting thing.
Who was your favorite person on there? Who was your best friend?
Oh, I was going to say my favorite, Vanessa Sebastian. She was the Native American. Yes. Yeah, she's
connected with the casino or something. Yeah.
Yep. And she's great. I think we were close friends prior to that, but going through what we went through with the show, because you have your highs, you have your lows, you're all over the place. It was very emotional. That we're closer now. She's one of my closest friends.
I thought
my
everybody
best
would hate each other after that show.
You know what? I'm speaking to Vanessa, and there were 6 of us, so maybe that would tell you something. But yeah, Vanessa and I she's a nurse as well, and actually her and I, because I'm a nurse.
What kind of nurse are you?
I'm a registered nurse. And Vanessa.
Well, when I say that, a lot of times
what am I doing?
They'll say emergency room, or they'll say this kind of.
No, I'm going into medical aesthetics right now. Vanessa and I are going to be opening up our own little medical spa. So,
really?
Yeah. So it'll be beauty queens making people beautiful.
All right. So are you doing the Botox and all that stuff?
Oh yeah,
of course,
fillers,
right?
Botox, laser, all that kind of stuff.
So you get rid of the wrinkles and all that stuff.
Yeah. I go for the more natural look, and we all kind of know from the show what Vanessa's look is, but you can do whatever you want.
Wait a minute, what is Vanessa's look? I don't know.
She wants to be able to see her reflection in your forehead. She wants it flat.
Really? She wants it totally flat?
She'll tell you, oh yeah. I think a more natural approach is probably the best.
Yeah? So am I looking at the more natural approach?
Well, when I get there, I'll let you know. When I start using the product, I'll let you know, and we'll go from there. You tell me when I start using it.
No, this looks like natural. That's what I'm asking.
This is me.
That's you?
This is me.
It is you.
But pretty soon I'll be needing something else. So.
Oh, come on, and you have 4 children.
I have 4 children, yes.
How old?
My oldest is 15, and my son is 15. I have 2 daughters who are 13 and 11, and my son is 8. And they're amazing, beautiful kids, and I'm just so proud of them.
Now, do your daughters look like you?
Well, actually, no. One of my daughters looks just like my husband, who's beautiful, so I'm fine with that. And then everybody tells me my other daughter looks more like me, but I don't really see it. They're very individual. They look very much like their own person, and I'm so psyched. They're beautiful, and they're going to be beautiful women. They'll be more beautiful than I could have ever hoped to be. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
They're great.
Now, does your husband like to be called beautiful?
I don't care if he likes it or not. It is what it is.
What does
my husband is in the energy conservation business, so he has his own company, PPE. It's PowerPoint Energy, and he goes into companies. It's boring stuff, but essentially he'll go into a company and outfit with product and blah, 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 and save them money on energy costs, energy bills. Yeah, it's boring, right?
No.
Yeah, to me.
Well, actually, we did a show on energy, how to save money on energy. In fact,
good.
Yeah.
He gets all these crazy
National
light bulbs.
Grid,
Ugh.
there's a thing with National Grid having control, and these other companies coming in and bidding against National Grid for electric, selling you electric.
See, I get the technology in my house, so I try to do your makeup in these crazy colored lights. Oh, I'm always screaming at them, I don't like your light bulbs, and they'll try
really?
to give me a good old-fashioned 60 watt. I'm so thrilled with that.
What about fluorescent lights? You don't like them,
Everything's 2
right?
watts. The LED lights?
No, fluorescent
Oh,
lights.
yeah, no, fluorescent light is bad as well.
No, they don't give you.
No,
you
it's
don't
not
like
good
LED?
for your skin. No, well, the newer ones are coming out with aren't too bad, but the older ones were a funky color, and I didn't care for them at all. And it makes you look sallow and gross. Like, you have good lighting here.
Yeah?
I like that.
Well, that's the old-fashioned lights we have.
See?
Here. We're still
That's what I'm talking about.
We're still way behind
I
here,
like
right,
that.
John?
Makes my skin look
what kind of
nice.
bulbs are these, John?
Really? Do we have to go there with the bulbs?
Quartz bulbs.
Quartz?
Halogen.
Yeah.
See, yeah, it's all good.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
Huh? What?
Filament in them. They're
I
not
don't know.
LEDs, they're not fluorescent.
Right.
I have no idea what. It's
One-
all
one of those
Spanish
things,
to me.
one of
Yeah,
those
no, I don't get it.
Incandescent, old school light.
Old school light.
Got it.
So,
See,
so
that's my favorite.
before you were Miss Connecticut, or Mrs. Connecticut,
Mrs. Connecticut, yeah.
had you been in any other pageants?
You know what? I always tease that when I did Mrs. Connecticut, my mother made me do it, and it's God's honest truth. And but prior to that, the one I had done as a teenager was Miss Hebron Harvest Fair Queen.
Give me that again?
Miss Hebron Harvest Fair Queen 1990. It was right next to, the pig feeding stall was over there, and the pie eating contest, and the.
Oh, it's like the Washington County Fair.
It was a fair,
Yeah.
And my mother made me do that one too. She can make you do anything with the
Really?
guilt, the mother guilt. Like, she just puts pressure on you until you just
Oh,
cave and
God.
you just do
Oh,
it.
my God. Now, see,
I'm not
I
going to
hope
live
she lives in
forever. The whole
Connecticut
9
for your-
yards. Yes.
For you, because you probably won't see this in Connecticut, so
Yeah.
you're all right. You
I'll
can
have
get
to
away
get
with
it
that. Now,
online.
do you have sisters?
I have no sisters. I had all brothers and male cousins. So I was a
Wow.
bit of a tomboy.
Yeah.
That was one thing, one of the pageant questions. They say, well, by looking at you, what would be one thing the judges wouldn't be able to assume or
Right,
guess?
that you're a tomboy.
I was a total tomboy. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't see
Don't
it.
see it.
I don't see it.
No, I climbed trees and jumped streams and hung out with,
Climb trees.
yeah.
That's a tomboy? You climb
Tomboy.
trees
Oh,
and
yeah.
jump streams.
doing all that kind of stuff. Riding my bike, had short hair, I was chubby, the whole 9 yards.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And then when did you decide that I'm not going to be a tomboy anymore?
Probably in high school, I, started dabbling in makeup, but I didn't have a lot of help with that. My mom did the best she could, but,
Well, she wanted you to be a woman then,
Yeah,
right?
I'm
I mean,
still
more of a
tomboy
girl
at
than
heart.
a tomboy. She didn't want you to be a tomboy. She had all boys in the house already, right?
Yeah.
She
Little
wanted a girl.
testosterone going on there. Oh,
Right?
yeah. My poor brother, he still has, we're 12 months apart, and I'm the only girl in the family, so I think it's still.
So
Still
where do you rank?
bothers
Where do you
him.
rank in the kids?
I'm the baby.
That figures, yeah.
Yeah.
How many brothers?
I have 2 older brothers.
Oh, just 2. That's
Yeah.
a little tiny family.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But now I'm married to a big Italian family. That was interesting. The first time I ever met my husband's family is one of 5, and they're all married and they all had children. And
Right.
oh my gosh, I always say, oh my no, no, it was. it
Well,
was
what
so
national
scary.
are you? That's French, right?
Yeah, well,
Marca?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm,
French name, right?
I'm half French.
And half
Actually, I'm
what?
like 3/4 French.
Indian?
And, no, Swiss.
Swiss.
Yes, my grandmother actually came over on the boat from Switzerland and had to learn English, and she was a beautiful, beautiful woman. I loved her so much.
Yeah?
Yep.
She didn't sneak in the country?
Heck no. No. Well, what's funny is my grandmother used to get very upset, all this, immigration reform.
Right.
When they started bringing Spanish at the ATMs and Spanish here and there, and I know
Right.
this isn't going to be a popular theme I'm saying, but I remember my grandmother saying to me, I came over to this country from Switzerland.
Right.
I had to learn English.
Yeah, my father had to learn
I'm
English. He was
American.
from Italy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I try to keep my political views to myself, though.
Well, that's a good. Well,
It doesn't always work.
Well, the problem is, I think I'll say this. You don't have to say it. I'll say it. That we've cowed down to this one group, the Spanish, being the Spanish, the Mexican Americans, whatever they are, anywhere southern border countries.
Sure.
We've cowed down to them, unlike any other country that's ever come over here. I mean, in the 40s and the 50s, there were the Italians, there were the French, there were the Irish. All these other groups that come over here. I mean, the Irish didn't have to learn English, but the Italians and the French did. And press 1 for this and 2 for that and 3 for that. You know, and everybody had to learn English. It just, and do you know, it was on the news this morning, somewhere, CBS News, as a matter of fact, this morning, that 17% of the population in the United States speaks Spanish.
Wow.
Do you know we are second? We are second. There are more Spanish-speaking people in the country of the United States than they are in Spain.
Come on.
Number 2.
I don't believe it.
Fact.
Really?
Yes. In fact, Spain ranks 4th for Spanish people.
I find that hard
Spanish-speaking
to
people,
believe.
population, number of people
What
that
other
speak
language do
Spanish.
they speak in Spain?
I'm sorry?
What other language do they speak in Spain?
Oh no, there's just only that many people.
Oh, that many people. The number of people.
The number of actual
Jeez.
people that speak Spanish. Oh, they all speak Spanish, of
Yeah,
course. But the
sure.
number of people that actually speak Spanish, we are second to Mexico.
Wow, that's bad. See, aren't you glad we started talking about that? I didn't write
Yeah.
that on my card or anything. And
No,
that
you didn't
was
write
good
that.
though, right?
I looked that up actually. I checked that out before we got here. That we're number 2, which I thought was very strange.
So we were told in pageantry to avoid politics, religion,
Of course,
anything like
except
that.
Except that when you are asked a question, it's always about what's your platform? Oh, I want world peace or something like that, which
World
is
peace.
politics.
Everybody wants to say that, right?
Which is
World
politics.
peace.
What was yours?
But
Do
the
you
children
remember?
were. Well, actually, it's my passion is health and wellness.
Health and wellness.
Health and wellness,
It wasn't.
especially
It
in
wasn't
children.
about energy.
No, it had nothing to do with energy conservation. No. Unless you're expending energy, working out and trying to help yourself feel good. Other than that, not too much. But yeah, it's health and wellness. I'm vegan and.
You're a vegan?
I'm a vegan.
Oh
and
my God! I found
do
something I didn't like
yoga.
about you.
Oh
She's
no!
a vegan.
Well, I'm not a strict vegan. Like you
No?
want me to try something, I try something, but it's not. It's for health reasons.
Now wait a minute. Now,
Read
as a
too many
vegan,
books.
do you know? I know vegans that I
Sure.
dated a vegan
Oh,
before.
geez, that's
And-
why you don't like
No,
me.
no,
There's
no,
an
no, no. It depends.
association.
Well, I should have
Okay.
taken out a vegan, but a vegan doesn't necessarily mean you just eat plants. I mean, some
Yeah, sure.
vegans
No.
eat like
No.
chicken, and some no.
No, a vegan.
You eat just plants?
Just plants, just vegetables and fruit and
Did
beans
you
and
ever
nuts.
think that when you're biting into a vegetable or fruit that's going ouch, ouch? You never thought that that's possible? It's a
Well-
living thing,
And you need a steak? That's a cow.
but it's already dead.
Oh my
It's already dead. Your vegetable's
No.
still alive.
They don't have nerve centers, and
How do you know?
because I've dissected a zucchini and I know
Oh,
that it doesn't
really?
have
Now, how did you
nerve
know that when you
endings.
dissected it? Now, you could have killed it. You could have killed it when you dissected it.
No. But my kids aren't vegan, so I do have to,
No?
feed them other ways. But
Other ways?
I watched my son killing gut of fish the other day, and I had to leave the area.
Really?
Yeah, it made me a little
Now, what would you
uneasy.
do if you were stuck on an
I'd probably
island
eat
somewhere?
it with my teeth. Like if I was starving to death, I would totally eat it. But
How long
because,
have you been a vegan
because
is
we
the
live
question.
in, live in
The question,
America.
how long have you been a vegan?
Well, it's different. I was a vegetarian many, many years ago, and for a long time. And then I had my children. And after my first two were vegetarians until my son was 4. And then after I had my third child, I was feeling like I was starving to death, so I started eating protein. And then dieting through pageantry, you eat a lot of protein. So I kind of got into this habit of eating protein 3 times a day. And
Which is what?
it depends. For Mrs. World, when I compete at Mrs. World, I was eating buffalo,
Oh, God.
venison,
Oh.
seafood, and turkey.
Really?
3 times a day, and you'd pick one and eat the same thing throughout the day. It was interesting. It was an interesting diet plan.
It wasn't troubling to you that you were eating, God forbid you were eating.
At the
Something
time,
that
what I
would
looked like
live.
on national TV was more important to me than that. But my principles put them aside for a few minutes.
So when did you start this? You started a
Probably about
vegan?
8 months ago, I went vegan again, and I feel great, and it's easy now. I don't. It just comes second nature. I don't even think about it. But there's no eggs. Vegan is no eggs, no dairy.
eggs even?
Nothing. No.
No, wait a minute. No milk?
No, God, I haven't had milk in 20 years. My kids don't drink milk. You don't think I'm crazy? I'm not crazy.
So you,
There's
wait a minute.
science
So you
behind
can't
it.
eat
I'm
cereal.
a medical professional.
You can't eat cereal.
I do, but I use almond milk, soy milk, or rice milk. I don't like coconut milk. I'm not a fan.
Oh, God.
It's okay.
How do you go out to eat?
I eat a ton. I'll order.
Oh, you eat a ton?
Yes, I eat a ton
of
of
vegetables.
vegetables. I do. I'll have a big salad. I'll have.
Give you a plate of.
I do. I'll order for a plate of grilled vegetables. Or I went to my favorite restaurant in Newport is Pasta Beach. Have you ever been?
No.
Oh, love this
it
Italian
a-
restaurant.
is it a
It's on
vegan
Memorial
restaurant?
Avenue. No, it's just full on Italian. And but I order. They have an eggplant dish. It's
Oh, I like eggplant.
Yeah, I just pick off the cheese and it's pesto
Take out
and
the cheese?
sauce. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
really
that's right,
good.
candy cheese, right?
Candy cheese,
No,
because it's
okay.
dairy.
Now, is it cooked? I mean, is it
I
cooked
cook
in oil?
my food.
Is it cooked in oil?
You know, when I cook, I don't use oil at home anymore.
I know, but
I used to drink like a gallon
when you
a
had
month.
it in Newport, was it cooked in oil?
I kind of go like this when I go out a little bit, so just because I have to live. I'm kind of like, all right, cook it, just give it to me.
Well, they love you when you go to a restaurant like that, vegans like that, because it costs them
Nothing.
80 cents to
Feed
make
me.
it costs 80 cents.
Actually, Elaine, she split my dinner with me my last time. You should try Pasta Beach, great restaurant.
Pasta Beach?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I haven't had a restaurant on here in a while. We used to have restaurants every show, and they would come on and we do a food segment. But
Oh, nice.
it slowed down a lot after what happened in West Warwick years ago.
Oh,
We used to have every show. We used to have restaurants here, and they'd cook. We had the big fryers and the fire and everything else. And after that,
Yeah,
we
sure.
stopped it totally for a while. And then when we started up again, it wasn't the same. It just
Yeah.
hasn't been the same. We got to get back into that, John. Right?
How
John?
many years has it been
We got
since
to get
that?
back in and get the chefs back in here, like the Capitol Grill. Hey, they just moved too. Have they opened? Oh, you wouldn't even know.
No. I think I've eaten at a Capitol Grill. It's a chain. They have
Yeah.
great mashed potatoes, even though white
Mashed
potatoes aren't good
potatoes.
for you.
See what I
Don't
mean?
even
See
get
what
me
I mean?
started.
Oh, give me an order of mashed potatoes at the Capitol Grill.
As long as you put a side of asparagus, some broccoli, I'm fine.
Bro-
Yeah, my favorite.
broccoli's good. I mean, you've said a few things that I like, but
I'll
you
cook
still
for
got to
you
have the
sometime.
steak
You
there.
know,
or the
my
meat or
husband's
something.
family's Carbone's restaurant in Hartford. You know Carbone's, right?
I knew the name. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
I saw that name, and I'm saying I know that name from somewhere. It is?
Yeah.
That's your family?
Yes, then my brother-in-law runs Carbone's in Carbone's kitchen.
Oh,
You have
no
to come
kidding.
in. And you can give us an 8x10. We'll put you up in Carbone's restaurant in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I should go there, and we should do something. Have Carbones come here and do a
Absolutely.
cooking
I'm sure they
segment here.
come.
Who cooks over there?
Vinny, my brother.
Oh, Vinny, your
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
Is
Vinny,
he your
yeah,
brother?
Vinny Carbone. He's
Vinny
my
Carbone,
husband's
huh?
brother, yeah.
Or your brother-in-law?
It's my my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He's a great cook. Honestly, he'd cook this. I'd eat
Vegetables?
it. It's amazing. Anything I want. Anything I want. Not just vegetables.
But what's the difference?
It'll change your life.
A vegan versus a vegetarian. A vegetarian can eat like chicken and.
Sure, there's different levels of vegetarianism, and like there's ovo, lacto, and all that stuff like that. So there's certain people that will.
What?
Yeah, there's certain people that eat eggs, and there's certain people that do dairy products.
Lacto?
Dairy products. Sorry.
So, I don't think I got
Are
to
you
that.
having a hard time with that?
No,
Okay.
yeah, I am. I don't think I got to this point that when you first tried to be a vegetarian, when was it? How old? You said you were chunky when you were a kid, right?
21, yeah.
Was
I was
that
on
because
every
of
diet.
that?
Yeah, I was on every diet as a teenager. I didn't have an eating disorder or anything like that. I just, wanted to lose weight, so I started dieting and exercising, and I'd read a lot of books, and I'd try to find my own path, and then when I met my husband, actually, that's when I was 22, I became a vegetarian, and I was a vegetarian until I was 30.
30-something, 31.
Till
Till now, till
Yeah.
your mid-30s,
Yeah,
till
right
now,
now.
right?
I'm 32.
Yeah, yeah. Now, and your husband's not a vegetarian?
No, he is.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it easy then.
Oh yeah, it does.
That makes it easy.
every once in a
But
while.
is he a vegan or a vegetarian?
He's Italian, so every once in a while, like he went to Carbone's last night for dinner with the family, and he ate a little bit. He'll eat a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But for most of our time, he's a vegetarian. If you do it 90% of the time, you get the health benefits, so it's worth it. I'll give
Really?
you some books if you want.
No, I don't want to be a vegetarian.
You'll feel so much better.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Will
you
it help my knee?
You know what? It will, because you'll lose some weight and it'll take the pressure off.
Well,
it,
that's
so it
true.
will
That
help.
part is true. Yeah, you're right there.
Absolutely.
You're
You'll lower
absolutely right. What are you trying to say? I'm
cholesterol,
fat?
your blood pressure.
You're saying I'm
no,
fat?
you're not fat at all. You're
No.
not heavy at all. You'll be a skinny mini. You'll be
A skinny mini.
Yeah. You're not fat. You're perfect.
No, I'm not. I'm fat.
You're not fat. You're rotund. No, it's rotund. It's
No.
I'm just kidding. You're. Was it? I don't even know. I'm gonna
No.
dig myself out.
Ooh, wow.
What's a word?
So anyway, I wanted to purposely stay away from the Bravo thing, but
Oh, you don't have to. I mean, if you want to, that's fine.
I like the segment. I remember one segment. You were in Newport with the girls, and they were battling.
You know what's funny is when I saw that scene.
That was your place, right?
That was our place, yeah.
Right.
And when I saw that scene, I didn't know how people could actually understand what had happened in Newport because they edited so much of it out.
But you still look like the hero.
Yeah, I looked even
Didn't you?
better if they didn't edit it all out.
No, you
I'm
did.
kidding.
You look like you look like Sweden, and that.
Thank you. Switzerland.
Oh, Switzerland. Did I say
It's
Sweden?
two totally different places.
Switzerland,
My
same
father-in-law
thing.
keeps saying, you're like a Swede. I'm like, no, I'm
Swede.
not a
I've
Swede.
been to
I'm
Sweden.
Swiss. You have been to Sweden?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Two totally different countries.
Yeah, I know.
Try Switzerland.
I know. Same thing. Same thing, only
the
different.
Alps.
It just flew out of there.
That's okay.
I'm
Just
thinking
teasing.
about the neutrality
Neutral,
thing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I try to be Switzerland. It was very difficult. I really tried to keep this group of women together. 'Cause I really couldn't understand some of what was happening because I genuinely did, in the beginning, liked most of them. And, you know, didn't work out that
Well, it didn't
but-
show. It didn't show that you had a dislike for anybody.
No, you know what? I was really trying. I was trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I was trying to facilitate relationships, and it was very difficult. They did not make it easy.
And I thought you did, especially in light of the fact that you were from Connecticut, as Vanessa was.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought you played it pretty straight.
I did. I'm a straight shooter. I, just kind of say it like I see it, and I don't really have anything to hide or hold back. I mean, I think a lot of times where I was opinionated, they did edit that out. Because I did have
you
an
got
opinion.
lucky.
I did, because I think they needed somebody on the show. They needed somebody that could get along with everybody, and I guess that.
Oh, you didn't wear the same dress somebody did. That's why.
No, you know what? And yeah. Are we supposed? Can we? No.
What?
Should we go there? Can we talk about that?
No, I'm just mentioning something in general. I'm just talking
So
about
funny.
something in general. A dress
So
thing.
funny. So Vanessa and I, we just went to Newport, and we were at comedy show, which I love, and I keep plugging Newport, but it's one of my favorite places. We were at the Firehouse Theater. Have you ever been there to see the bit players?
Firehouse Theater.
Oh my gosh, we could totally roast you. It'd be so funny.
You would.
It would be great.
Yeah.
We can find pictures everywhere. Shannon's on it. She's gonna go. She's like, yeah. I think. What was I gonna say? The bit players, comedy, they're all improv. It's come as you go. So we went, and Elaine was with me, and it was just so much fun. And where was I going with that? I have no idea. What were we talking
So
about?
I go to the Newport Comedy Series, but that's a different thing
The
altogether.
Bravo thing, the roasting, Vanessa. I don't even know. I got lost. It's okay. Oh, the dress. Thank you.
The dress.
So they did a comedy skit about the dress.
Oh, they did.
And it was, can I swear on your show? Will I get in trouble if I swear?
As long as you don't say the F word.
Okay, they sang this song called "Bitch Stole My Dress," and they went on. And it was not the funniest thing, and they did this whole hip hop number about that. So it was a lot of fun. So as much you take this negative situation, it was really ridiculous, the whole thing.
I thought so, yeah.
And now you can laugh at it. And
But that's the caddy
make fun
thing.
of
That's
it.
the whole caddy thing there.
yeah.
And then the
it
other
was
one, there was
wrong.
something about in one of their houses, somebody was beefing in the house or something. Oh, no, that just continued on. That dress thing.
Oh, that thing just did not
That-
go away.
that
That
one-
damn thing.
that just
Actually,
kept on.
What's her name? Chrissy Teigen just wore that outfit on Watch What Happens Live, a month or two ago? So that thing is still out there.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really?
I think, as much as I believe Susanna did that to bring attention to herself, and, I'm not one of those people that needs negative attention, so I'm all set. But it did work in the sense that, people talk about it. It was an interesting episode.
Yeah, it was. It was different.
So
It was-
kudos to her, maybe.
It was
Maybe,
weird to
maybe-
see that was going on over, it seemed
Yeah.
like just such a minor thing.
It's amazing.
Guys don't think that way,
Can you
You
imagine?
got a shirt I got
That-
on. You're wearing the same shirt I'm wearing.
That would be a skit. Have two men show up.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
say,
fighting over to get in a big battle.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, yeah. No, there was a lot of things that happened in the show that you would think were minor. Even the whole Newport situation was only because Vanessa's walk time had changed. So the time, just a simple thing as a time change, it just completely blew up.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
All right, I'm going to have you back.
Yes,
You're going to be my
absolutely.
co-host on
It's
show.
going to
Do
be
you
the
wanna
Bob
do
and
that?
Shelley show, absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
we got to do that. We gotta
Yes.
do the Bob and Shelley show.
That's right.
Shelley, Venturini and Carbone. Huh?
That's right,
How
in
do you
the
like that, huh? That wouldn't be too non-Irish or non-Spanish or non-whatever.
With a little switch. Just
A little switch, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we got a clip. We're coming back, and we got another special guest for you. And I got to say bye to Shelley. Nice to see you.
Nice to see
You're
you,
beautiful.
too.
You're even more
Thank you.
beautiful in person.
Yes, I'm not very photogenic. Just saying.
Oh!
I'm joking.
Well, good evening, folks, and welcome back to An Hour with Bob. And I got to remind you, folks, anybody who wants to become a member of our crew on An Hour with Bob, we tape the show every other Tuesday or Monday, depending on what's going on. and it's 7:30 to 9 o'clock, 7:30 to 8:30 we tape the show, but our crew gets here about 6 to 9, 6 to 9:15, we're done twice a month. If you want to be part of the show, get a hold of me, and you can find me on Facebook, Bob Venturini, or you can find me at ventbob@gmail.com, and come join the crew. We have some fun. Sometimes we have beautiful women like tonight, especially tonight. And now we have another beautiful woman, Shannon Hagy from WPRI 12 in Providence.
Thank you
Hi.
for having me.
Nice to have you.
It's nice to be here.
Now, I find out you're from Connecticut too?
I am from Connecticut. I know, we were just talking about it, Shelley and I. And I grew up where she grew up. The original town she's from, Enfield, is right next to where I grew up in Windsor, Connecticut.
Windsor,
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah, just north of Hartford.
Yes. And you started here at Channel 12 when? How long ago?
I've been in Rhode Island for about a year and a half
Right.
now, but I started my whole career in television news in Western Mass, which is actually where my parents are from, Holyoke, Massachusetts.
Holyoke, Mass, yes.
Yep, and so I started there straight out of college.
Where'd you go to college?
Hofstra University on
Oh,
Long
yeah,
Island.
Long Island, New York.
Yep, so I studied broadcast journalism there. And then when I graduated, because my mom had some connections in Western Mass, she was able to get me a job at WGGB in Springfield, Mass.
Right.
And I started kind of behind the scenes.
What channel is that? 20?
It's, I don't even, 40.
40?
Yes. That was weird. I had to remember what channel it was.
Because I think there was a channel 20 when I went.
22.
22?
They're actually WPRI's sister station. We're both owned by Media General, which is
Okay,
our
who was
parent company.
the NBC affiliate in
That's
Springfield?
22. 22 News.
NBC.
Yes.
Okay, then it is
We were
22.
ABC and Fox.
Okay, because there was a girl that when I went and I did the show, my best show I've ever done in my entire life, I was down in Paris Island. I was the first person ever to do a documentary series on Paris Island ever in 1993 or something, 92, somewhere around there. I did an 8-part series there. I was there for several days, and there was a woman there from the Springfield station, it's NBC affiliate.
Was her name Barbara? I'm trying to remember the name.
I'm not sure.
There's so many people from Western Mass, and they all, very much like Rhode Island, they all stay there.
Right.
So, everybody knows everybody. So coming here after being there, I worked there for, I think, 7 years. So coming here where everybody knows everybody and I don't know anyone was a little difficult.
Right.
So, but then I get to meet nice people like you. So there you go.
And Mike Montecalvo.
Oh, and everybody's Italian, and I'm not an ounce of Italian. Everybody's Irish in Western Mass, so I fit right in.
Really?
But
Yeah, but I'm Irish and Italian.
Oh, okay, so you got both.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I don't know if you've met our meteorologist at our station, but
Of
they're
course.
all Italian.
Oh, yeah.
Del Santo, Mangione,
Yeah. Tony.
Muscatello, and
Yeah.
Petrarca. Yes.
Muscatello saw me. She came to my, we did a show when I was laid up in the hospital, recovery center
Oh,
last
wow.
year. She would come, we did a show there on the deck.
They're a great team. I only get to see Michelle every once in a while because we work complete opposite
Right,
shifts.
yeah.
But
Yeah, and it was tough for her. That's why it was good for her to do a show there because we could do it earlier in the day over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
'Cause she has to get up at the godforsaken hour.
I don't
like
know how they
2:30 in
do
the
it.
morning. She's got 3 kids.
I know. I don't know how they do it.
And she looks like she's
Same with
18.
Danielle. Same with Danielle North.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they get up that early, especially with children. I don't have any, but I think it's hard enough to do our job without any kids, and
Right, yeah.
I have no idea how they do it. But they do a wonderful job.
And I don't know how they do it, like when the kids get, like after they're toddlers, when they're, especially teenagers.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to bed sometimes 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
To get up at 1, 2 in the morning.
Right. I've heard from a lot of people that work the morning shift that you never really are aiming for 8 hours of sleep. You get a certain amount at night, and then after your shift is over, you do a nap.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard that's how a lot of people survive on
it's
that
gotta
shift.
be. It's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the guy that holds the record on this show is Gene Valicenti.
Okay.
And Gene, now he's doing the morning radio show, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then he doesn't do the late night anymore on Channel 10. He does the 6 o'clock,
Right,
5
right.
and 6. But he used to do the late night too, and that had to be ungodly.
I don't know how they do it. I mean, I know Mike Montecalvo, he's a professor, and so he'll do that job in the morning and then come into work, and I'll complain and be like, oh, I had to be up at 7:30 this morning. And he's like, please, I get up at 6. I'm like, how are you still awake right now? Just pounding coffees. Him and Tony joke that they could have an idea.
Tony's second on this show, being on the show.
Isn't he
Tony
great?
Petrarca.
Tony's great.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Awesome,
we both live in
awesome
West
guy.
Warwick, so we're pals in West Warwick. But they've both been so welcoming, Tony and Mike. I mean, we have a great time together in the studio.
I'll
and
bet.
You spend that much time together, you really get to know each other.
Well, I knew Mike when he was in radio, before he was on television.
Yep, we were just there at Twin River because he was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, which was great.
Well, he was on there recently. He was on there just after he got inducted, right? I think it was that week, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, it was something
He was. I mean, we were so proud of him,
guy.
and he was
He's a
just
great guy.
beaming. I mean, it was such a great moment for him. Absolutely.
Yeah, some of the people he got inducted with too.
Yeah, it was a really great ceremony. I was bummed that I couldn't stay longer. I had to go back and actually, do the news and
Do the
stuff.
work?
They wouldn't let me.
No,
out
they wouldn't
for
let you
that.
stay?
Yeah,
No?
but we got to see a good portion of it. We got to see his acceptance speech. So that was nice.
All right, what's different for you in Rhode Island that wasn't there in Mass? Now, obviously, one thing is different. You got the coast.
I love having
salt
the
water.
ocean. So growing up, we always went to, my parents wouldn't go to Connecticut beaches. They didn't believe in Connecticut
Rhode Island's
beaches.
got better beaches anyway.
They're like Long
Right?
Island Sound. Yeah.
That's right.
No, my
That's
parents
right.
would, Shelly's looking at me like I'm crazy. We would not go to Connecticut beaches. My parents said Long Island
Well, come
Sound
on,
is not a beach. There's no waves. So we always drove to Mesquamaket from
I was
Windsor.
going to say, Springfield doesn't have any good beaches either.
No. No. But from Windsor, growing up, we always went to Mesquamaket. I don't know
Right.
if you know Jim's Trailer Park.
Jim's Trailer
I know it sounds crazy, but people come and they bring their trailers and they, park on the beach. But you can also bring your car and you pull up right to a picnic table right on the beach, so you don't have to take your stuff out of your car and lug it. And my parents always loved going there. So from, I think a week after my brother was born, my parents took him to the beach, and that's where I grew up. We spent every birthday there. We spent the entire summer there. So, and I used to tell my mom, someday I'm going to live in Rhode Island. I'm going to have a house at Mesquamaket Beach. So I'm doing one half of that with the living in Rhode Island. I don't think I realized about the house on Mesquamaket Beach part about what you have to do.
Expensive,
just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I love having the beach, and my husband loves it. Because Western Mass was great, and we had a wonderful time there. But having the beach and Newport, we love Newport. I know Shelley was talking about how much she loves Newport. I love Newport. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't you know, you said Mesquamaket, but right near there, there's a place called Blue Shutters State Beach. It's a gorgeous beach.
I haven't been there. Our favorite beach, we don't go to Mesquamaket as much anymore because, it's just a little further for us
South.
from West Warwick.
Right.
We love East Matunic State Beach.
Yes.
We love that, and then we go to the Matunic Oyster Bar afterwards. And we're total foodies. We've been eating our way through Rhode Island since we moved here, and we absolutely, we still have so many more places to go, but we're slowly crossing it all off our list.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a place years ago, I was fishing down the water there, down by Westerly, actually. And actually it was in Ninnegrit, the wildlife preservation place down there. And I was fishing down there, and I saw the guy. I was in Charlestown State Beach, that's where I was. And I look over, and there's 100 fishing poles on my side, and across the inlet there, Salt Pond is in the back there. There's only 4 or 5 people fishing there. And I said to some guy, how do you get over there? They said, you need a 4-wheel drive to get over there. And he says, I'll take you over there. So we jumped to the back of his 4-wheel drive, went out to the Route 1. We got on East Beach Road, and we went right down to Blue Shutters State Beach. It's at the end of the road, and then there's no more road. It's just sand. And it's a big sign, only 4-wheel drives allowed. So he took us out right to the end of the point. It runs out about 4 miles out. It's a breachway. And the further out you go, or the further northeast you go, the less people you see. Yeah. And then you get to the very end, and you come to that waterway where you can see all the thousands of people over there in Charlestown State Beach, and you're there with 5 people.
Isn't it nice when you can find those little secluded areas?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I started going there all the time.
Yeah. Once you find those spots, and I think that's why we liked East Matunic too. And it can get crowded, but I feel like it's just such especially for a state beach, it's just so quiet and kind of family oriented, and I just love being down there, even driving to that beach. It's just a really pretty area. So
but being Irish, how do you deal with the sun? You must.
Listen, I've got it down to a science, okay?
You must load up.
I've got it down to a science, but I'm really, really crazy careful about my skin.
Yeah.
Really, really careful. But yeah, you're right. The Irish skin doesn't.
Yeah. In fact, I just looked at Consumer Reports about suntan lotions, and a lot of them don't live up to what they say.
No, it's got to be SPF 30 or higher, UVA, UVB, broad spectrum. I mean, you have to know we do so many stories on the news, so like I'm always making mental notes.
But there is one that's 70. It's banana, whatever it is.
After a certain number, I think it doesn't make a difference. Maybe that's
But
what
there's
it
one
was.
that says 70, and it really only checked out as being
Like
28
40,
or something.
Yeah. You have to be careful.
Yes.
You have to really do your research, but. And those spray ones can get, I love the spray suntan lotions, but then you miss like half your arm and you get a really fun tan line.
They're not as effective.
No,
That's what they say.
no, yeah, you want to get the real stuff. But we love the beach. When we're not traveling, and we're always traveling.
And your husband is what nationality?
My husband is Jewish. He's from New Jersey. We met at Hofstra University, so we've been together for 11 years in July. Yeah, we got married. We'll be celebrating our 3rd anniversary in October. 3rd wedding anniversary. Yeah. So he still works in Farmington, Connecticut, where he worked when we lived in Western Mass.
Oh, that's a run, yeah.
An hour and 45 minutes, like on Route 6 through.
Well, this poor girl had to come down here. She ran down here tonight.
You know the drive. Yeah, so he does that. He's not doing it 5 days a week anymore, so he can work from home a lot, but he works in life insurance sales and financial planning and things like that. And he really loves the company, so he just stayed with it.
Who's he work for? What company?
It's MW Financial. They're in Farmington, Connecticut.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, all the insurance companies.
And every day I'm like, I'm sorry I made you move so far away from your job.
Because I worked for Aetna for years, and they were in
Oh,
Farmington,
okay. My mom
Connecticut.
worked for Aetna. Well, insurance capital of the world in Connecticut. Of course, my mom worked in insurance, yeah.
I went to the building one time. There's 7,000 people in the building.
Was that the big brick one in Hartford? Yeah. You see it right off 84.
7,000 people. I go, holy good God. Imagine if you know somebody in the building.
Yeah.
Take
She works
a week
for
to
Mass
find
Mutual now, which is another big one in Springfield. Yeah.
Well, I think, didn't Aetna's Franklin, I think.
They might be a new company now. I can't
think
keep
they're
track.
called
I really can't. There's too many.
I think so. 'Cause
There's way too
I
many.
still have insurance with them.
Oh, okay.
Life insurance. I still think I think they're Franklin.
Well, I'll give you my husband's card and you can go through.
No, I don't want to deal with no more insurance. I don't need any more insurance. So,
He loves it though.
speaking of love, you do like being on Channel 12, right?
I do. I really love it there, and it's it's weird going from one channel that you've been at for so long to a whole nother channel. But I love how much we invest in investigations. You know, you've seen the Tim White investigations, you've seen Susan
Tim
Hogan.
Wright's the best.
The fact that we have the resources to dedicate to that. You know, my old station didn't really have much of an investigative team, so to be able to have a team dedicated to that so that people know, like if they believe they're being wronged or they believe that a company promised them something that they're not doing or they believe...
Susan Hogan, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, the story she had out of the park, Roger Williams, the mausoleum, where she got, there were people,
God,
you know, that kind of story when you actually can make a difference. I mean, why be in the, you know, yes, we give you the news every night and we can do things like that, but to be able to make a difference and do stories that actually bring about some sort of change, that's, I think, what a lot of us get into it for. So I really do love it there. It's a great place to work, and Rhode Island's a great place to be. Although I have to say, I mean, Massachusetts has its names that are difficult to pronounce, but I got here, I thought I knew Rhode Island really well. I thought I had it down.
Well, especially you're going to talk about down that way. Well, Quanticottag and Weekapaug and all those.
Those
Indian
aren't so
names.
hard because there's a lot of Indian names, like Quantick was one area of Windsor. I knew those.
Right.
But what was one? Connecticut. Do you know how long it took me?
Connecticut.
I tried saying it like 4 different times, and finally, like the 5th time, it was in a newscast. I got it right. Everybody would like hold their breath when I went to go say it.
Now, how did you say what town that is from? That is in, where is Connecticut?
Warwick?
Yeah.
Oh,
How do you say
nobody
Warwick?
says the second W here.
That's
they
right.
say Warwick.
Warwick.
I'm like, am I hearing it wrong? Like,
Yeah, Warwick.
It's a,
What city are you in right now?
West Warwick.
No, in here, right here.
Oh, Pawtucket.
Good.
I know that one.
Good.
Although I didn't know that moving here because you hear paw socks.
Pawtucket.
Why do they call it paw socks? They're just confusing everybody. I'm just saying, as an out-of-stater, I was very confused. But
Pawtucket.
and I didn't know
Pawtucket.
not to say the hard ooh in Woonsocket. They say it's like more like Woonsocket.
One.
Yeah,
Socket.
Woonsocket. Yeah.
Woon
I never knew
socket.
Rhode Island even had an accent until I started. I had friends from Rhode Island. They didn't have accents. Like my friends
I
from
don't have
Cumberland.
an accent.
Not at all.
You have an accent.
I don't have an accent
No,
at all.
I don't have an accent. I do have an
As
accent. Everybody
newscasters,
has
we're
an
not supposed to have
No, you're not
accents. We're supposed to be like.
So they say the best newscasters supposedly, as far as no accent, are from the Midwest, right? For no accent.
Maybe. You know what's funny though? You learn stuff. Like I grew up saying Colorado Like that's how we were taught to say it, but everybody else says Colorado.
Colorado?
And that's apparently how you're supposed to say it.
Colorado.
Yeah, or Oregon instead of Oregon. Like when they teach you the state song where you like do them all in there's a state song.
There's a state song.
And it's
You knew I didn't
Oregon,
know what you were talking
Pennsylvania,
about,
but
right?
it's Oregon. It's
Oregon.
not Oregon. So
Yeah.
they were
What's the
teaching us.
capital of Oregon?
Don't put me on the spot right now. Don't do that to me. Come on, come on.
You know who I did that to one night? Actually, I didn't do it. My son. My son was my co-host. He was about 7 years old at the time. And I had...
Don't tell me he knew the answer, then I'm just going to really feel bad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He knew them all. He knew all 50 states.
They didn't give us a song for the capitals, so I only know the states.
We had your predecessor, Christine Johnson, on the show.
Okay.
And she said somehow got in the subject of state capitals. And that's the only reason I brought that up, by the way. He said that to you is because that come up in the conversation.
Oh.
And
So it's my fault for bringing it up in the first place.
and he said, and Christine Johnson said something about, because she was an Air Force brat. Her father was all over the
Okay.
place. So I know all this capitals. And I said, oh, so does Zachary. And she goes, oh, I can beat, I know them better than you. And I said, 70 years old. I mean, but I'll bet you can't beat them.
No.
And they went back and forth.
Yeah.
And it was on the 7th run that he got her with the capital of Oregon.
Oh.
They were going back and forth with state capitals. A 7-year-old
Yeah,
kid.
Google it.
Huh? You're looking it
Google
up? You're Googling it. It's not, what do you think it is? Come on, what do you think it is?
They don't have a song. If they had a
Salem,
song for the
Salem.
state capitals,
It's Salem.
oh, we should know that. There's a Salem, Connecticut. There's a Salem,
Right, right?
Massachusetts.
It is. It's,
Throwing
I know
me
the
for a
answer.
loop,
Salem.
Throwing me for a loop. Yeah, Salem. Well, now I didn't know that.
And
so
I didn't.
walking
I'm
away.
sorry. I didn't do that to throw you for a loop. It just
That's
maybe it just
okay.
brought back the old thing. And when I've had people that media people on my show, the women do very well coming on the show.
With state capitals?
No, with their careers. With their careers.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so this is a good sign. Plus, I learned something. I'm walking away with knowledge that I didn't have before.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
you know.
No, there have been several people.
So
that
I'll have
come on this
a
show.
great career, and,
Yes,
and I'll know my
and
state
you know all
capitals.
your capitals.
Beautiful. I think it'll take us a little longer to get all the state capitals.
You
now,
think?
But maybe, yeah.
Well, I used to drive 5.5 hours each way to pick up my son, right? He
Wow.
lived in Milton, Vermont when he was
Okay.
little, when he was 5, 6, 7 years old. And to keep me awake, I'd be, Zach, what's the capital of Nebraska? Zach, what's the capital of California? You know, and we go back and forth. And then I go get into square roots and squared and stuff like that. Here's a 5, 6-year-old kid. You ask him what's the square root of 81. He'd tell you it's 9. What's the square root of?
So these were very
what's
educational
15
trips.
squared? You know?
Yeah.
225. What's 25 squared? 625.
Listen, I didn't get into this field because I'm good at math. So we're not even going to go down that road, okay? Capitals is hard enough. You know what's funny, though? Because in news, you have a certain amount of time to get a story across.
Right.
So you're not going to name towns and you know, you're going to
That's what I
say
find
near
so hard.
here or
That's what
near
I-
here
yeah.
or this far away from this city that someone knows. And that's what we do, or we'll put a map on the air. But you're not just going to name random towns. We only have so much time to tell you, so we'd rather be like near, you know, Los Angeles rather
Right.
than say like what town
What town?
or city.
What
it's-
town? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Especially because half the time we don't know how to pronounce it. So.
But it's amazing that you do. You do so well. It really is. It's
Thanks.
amazing. It is. And it's amazing. Well, one thing you definitely have to be in your business is a great reader.
That was something that, you know, people always ask me like how I got into this or how'd you decide you wanted to do this? And when I was younger, like I used to do oration contests where you get a topic and you have to write a speech about it. You
Wow.
memorize the speech, you get up on stage. The first one I ever did, the topic was an American invention. And so you're supposed to be really original too. So I picked Coca-Cola. And I did an entire speech about
Right.
Coca-Cola and its effect on the American culture. And I think I won like 3rd place or something.
Wow.
But then I realized like I really enjoy doing this. I'm comfortable doing this. And when I got to high school, there was a book in our guidance counselor's office called, I kid you not, Careers for Talkative People. And so I'm going through it and I'm like, I don't know. I knew I didn't want to just be like a speaker. And then I found broadcast journalists where you get to tell stories and report and be out on breaking news. And I was like, that sounds really interesting. So that was kind of my
Wow, that was your lead.
deciding moment. Yeah.
Now, speaking of Coca-Cola, wasn't that, it was invented by a chemist in Atlanta? Was it Atlanta? It was Georgia,
Would you
think.
believe I don't
I think it was
That was
Georgia.
in 6th grade. I did that
Yeah,
speech.
no,
so.
and I'm not trying to catch you here. I'm just trying
Oh, I don't
because
believe you anymore.
In 1996, I went to the Olympics down there in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And they had the Coca-Cola Village down there.
Oh.
That's why it makes me
That
think
that seems like it would be it then. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was, or at least that's where the home office is now.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't invented there, whatever, or made up, but it was a chemist, or no, I'm sorry, a pharmacist.
It was a pharmacist. He
pharmacist.
did it like trying to come up with a new,
Cough medicine.
yeah, something like that.
That's what they used to use it for when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They used to use it, not the syrup from it, not.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just the syrup, and then he accidentally got some of the soda in it or something, I think was the story. But the worst part about it was that for like a year or two after that oration contest, my parents thought it would be really cool for every present that they gave me to make it like a Coca-Cola memorabilia. So I just have random Coca-Cola memorabilia in my house. And finally I had to tell them, like,
Really?
I don't really need the Coca-Cola memorabilia anymore. But
No, you don't have like a room.
it stopped like
dedicated to
after
it?
a year. I do have a ton of the Christmas edition Barbies. Like my dad wouldn't let me open them. I wasn't allowed to because my dad's a
they
huge
gotta be worth a
collector.
lot
He's
of
a record
money.
collector. He's a
Yeah,
card collector.
yeah.
So I had all those like special edition Barbies, and they're still up in my closet, all in their boxes.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do you collect now?
My husband and I always collect all of our ticket stubs from everything. Movie ticket stubs, concert ticket stubs, random stuff, and we keep it all, and we keep saying we're going to do something with it, maybe make a collage with it or something.
Well, that would be the ideal thing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I told you we've been together for so long that when you have that big of a collection of stuff, like
Sure.
it's, we can look back and be like,
I was just going to say that you can go back to each thing. You could pull, you could have fun with that. You could put them all in a box and pull something up.
yeah, and be
have
like, remember this? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all I really collect right now. But if I could, I'd collect coffee mugs, but I don't have room for them all.
Oh. Now, if you could go back in time, what do you think of the most interesting thing you've ever done?
Interesting.
We'll do it two ways: interesting in life and interesting as a reporter.
When I was in Western Mass, I guess I'll take the question kind of as like the stories that I've done.
Right.
We had a tornado go through Western Mass when I was working there.
And it happened again recently. Another tornado went through Western Mass a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah,
Or were
so
you there
it
then?
was the
that-
June 2011 tornado.
Oh, that one.
That's
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
I was there
Oh,
for.
that's the
June
one.
1st, yeah.
That's right.
And
It's already been that long ago?
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
I know, and it's crazy because the most recent storm we had, where we kept talking about tornado warnings and the spinning and a couple of
Right.
touchdown that were EF0. I used to get scared with tornado warnings, but now I'm like a nervous wreck. I mean, I'm like probably like the viewers at home. I'm supposed to be the calm, collected one. I'm nervous because once you see one happen,
Right.
and we were all getting ready for
Oh,
a
so you
show.
actually saw it happen?
Well, it was like 4 o'clock or 4:15 or so, and we're all watching on our live cameras because they're put up on top. And the tornado, if you remember, came across the river, splitting West Springfield and Springfield. And we're looking up at our sky cam, and you're just helpless because you're watching it. You see all these cars on the bridge, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to? I mean, luckily no one on that bridge was hurt.
Right.
It was unbelievable. But so that was. I had just started anchoring at that point. I had been promoted from reporter. That was, I say, the day that I decided, like, I definitely want to be an anchor, versus a reporter.
Right.
We did 5 hours straight of coverage, no commercials, no scripts, no nothing, with our producer in our ear saying, okay, we have so-and-so, she was on the bridge, she's on the phone, and tossing back to weather, and complete ad lib. And that's the moment you get tested of whether you can do this job, because the moment you don't have scripts and you don't have a prompter, you have to just
Like me.
go with it. Yeah, you're perfect at it, exactly. So that was probably like my biggest experience with news coverage. That was like the biggest moment that I remember. But there's been a lot of stuff since then. So yeah. And I went to Boston the day of the marathon bombings, but we got there
God.
much far after.
Yeah.
We weren't covering I have friends that were there when the bombs went off, that were news reporters at the time. So nothing like that has happened to me, but.
And what do you think about what happened to him, the kid, the younger brother, that he got the death penalty, which will never happen?
Well, first of all, I know Shelley said the same thing, but we don't, as an anchor, I don't share personal opinion. And most times, I don't really, it's hard for me I always say I could never be in a debate class because you're taught to think neutrally. in this.
Right,
I purposely go online and read comments on stories.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. There's a girl, I'm going to write, I've written to the station already, and CBS.
Okay.
I watch the CBS News all the time. Watch the morning news.
Okay.
Every morning.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And Gayle King
Yes.
is the most opinionated person I've ever seen on television. It's terrible. It's terrible. She actually says everything that, and obviously because she's not really a media person.
She was, yeah, she didn't start as
She was thrown in there because she's Oprah's friend.
Yeah.
That's why she.
Well, I also think that morning TV has, I mean, if you watch any of the morning shows, I mean, I know CBS's morning show is supposed to be more of a news program.
It's supposed to be.
But today's show, Good Morning America, whenever they're talking about something, I think they encourage the anchors to share opinion or to at least discuss.
Oh my God, she's ridiculous.
Local news is a little different depending on what kind of station you work for.
John loves that. Loves her, Gayle King.
But it's hard not to share an opinion, and obviously we have opinions.
Constant. It's constant.
Yeah.
She's off over the. I've never seen anybody like her on any news station ever.
Yeah. They're keeping her.
I'll tell you one thing.
Something's
I'll tell you one thing. I got to, and I must have had something to do with it because right after I sent a letter in about it, they stopped it. They used to go.
It was your letter.
And back to you, Gail, Nora, and Charlie.
Yeah.
They used to do that all the time, and they stopped doing it. They only do who the one person they're talking to.
Oh, okay.
They used to do it. It was so annoying. They go back to you, Gail, Nora, and Charlie.
I think it's funny the things that people will write in about, you know, something that kind of bothers them. It's interesting to see what the people will pick out as something you do that.
Well, I'm sure that
them.
a whole bunch of people thought the same way I did, apparently, because they stopped doing it.
Maybe it was something that bothered a lot of people.
Yeah, it had to be. Because
Right.
I don't suggest that it was just me, but I know that
Maybe
I
it
must
was.
have had the general opinion. It must have been a general opinion because it was annoying.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Besides the fact it took so long to do it.
Yeah.
Because they would say it going in and coming back.
Yeah.
You know, when they go to.
So it was a lot of like tossing and tossing.
Yeah, you know, when they go to a reporter, the reporter would go, they'd say, over to you in Kuwait or something, and then the reporter would go, oh, hi, Gail, Nora, and Charlie.
Oh, they always listed off all three names. Yeah, that's
going in and coming out, and when they
difficult.
ended it, back to you, Gail, Nora, and Charlie.
I would think that would be a producer's worst nightmare because, like I said, you only have so much time.
Yeah.
So to not only to toss back, but to add in two more names in addition, those are seconds that are very. I mean, I don't think anybody realizes how tightly these shows are packed. Yeah.
Both ways they did it.
Yeah.
Both ways they did it. Going to them and coming back from them.
Well, at least they stopped it so you can keep watching.
Yeah, yeah. And I do keep watching, but it annoys
Good.
me. Anyway, no, she annoys me. She does.
Everybody has their
yeah, she annoys
you know,
me.
I
But I
think
love
there's
Charlie and I love Nora. But,
Yeah.
And the other associate people, the people that come on, like the doctors and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But Gail's just annoying.
Well, at least the other two are kind of doing enough to keep you watching.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
so
you
much.
watch CBS, then you watch our news. So I want you to stay with CBS.
Yeah.
There you
But
go.
I do have to say, I do have to watch some of the other ones too because I know them all. But
You don't
I
have
do
to tell
like
me
I,
that.
I do like the folks
You don't have to tell
at
me
Channel 12, and that's why I asked you to come on.
Yeah, they're a really great team. I love working
you
there.
got
It's been a great run so
group
far.
on there.
Yeah, we
You got
do.
a great group.
Really professional.
And they
people.
can see you at one time. Tell us, because we're out of here.
So is this the right camera?
That camera's
That
lit
one.
up.
Okay, sorry. I should know this better.
Yeah, I
shouldn't
know,
I should
huh?
be better at this. 5, 6, 6:30 on Fox Providence.
Right.
10 and 11.
Ten-
At 10 o'clock on
Wow,
Fox
oh my
Providence and 11 on
gosh,
CBS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got them all.
It's a lot. And then we also have a 5:30 show. That's Mike and Kelly. So
Tell them you just
You
spent
should
an
watch
hour
all
with
of it
Bob.
on
Tell them you
Eyewitness
just spent an
News.
hour with Bob.
I can't. An hour with Bob.
You
My
just
first
spent an hour with
time. I
Bob.
just spent an hour with Bob.
There you go.
Did I do it right?
And you did what? And it was good.
It was
something.
great.
It was great. It was great.
And I'm gonna have a wonderful, successful career now.
Of course,
and learn
you already
my-
have one.
and learn
but you
my-
would have
and
a-
learn my
even-
state capitals.
a State capital. We'll
Yes.
work on the state capitals and your math. We'll work on your math.
my-
And don't
my
you
math.
laugh. We're going to work on your steak. We're going to get you a steak.
Mm.
Are we done? We're out of here. Folks, thank you for spending an hour with two beautiful women and me. And we didn't even get to talk to Ray and Elaine either. How come? Next time. We're done.
We're done. All right.
See, that's how I...